Right here, you see this deep line here? That's the pituitary gland. It goes right into it, okay? So this is not a good sign. It's chronic, which will explain the height, being very tall, okay? It's the pituitary gland. Pituitary gland controls all the other glands, the adrenals, the thyroid, parathyroid, and you see the parathyroid soon enough how it's affected, okay? Parathyroid is right here. It's parathyroid region, and here's the thyroid region, okay? You can see that there's a drug deposit on it, and when you see a brown color like that. So the pituitary gland needs to be cleaned up. Right here is the pineal gland. See that dot right there? That affects sleep, okay? And right here is the forehead. There's lymph stagnation in the forehead region. And right here is the upper jaw eye region, the sinus region, is with heavy lymph stagnation or congestion. Here is the bronchus region. Okay, you can see heavy lymph stagnation over there. Right here is the bronchus, esophagus, vocal cord region. Okay, you can see it's yellow, heavy lymph stagnation over there. Okay, and right here, see that line, that streak of line, that's the middle back region, is chronic. And you can see the lower back region as well, full of lymph stagnation, and the upper back right here. Okay, the entire back region is heavy with lymph stagnation, thick white lymph stagnation. And right here, all this region here is a spine. You see that line right here? You actually have nerve rings going around it. So, which would explain, you know, issues with pain, etc. There's a nerve ring going around across the spine. When you see lines going around this like a tree of a trunk, that's nerve rings, which means weakened nervous system due to weak adrenals and weak kidneys, okay? And you really want to fix that. So that's the pressure would be on the back and the spine region right here. Okay, that line there, that line right there, that's the bladder. Okay, the bladder region right here, this line here. So that line right here, that's the bladder region, and right here is the vagina and uterus region as well, okay? It's getting to subacute level, so you want to fix that. Right here is the kidney adrenals. Look how deep it is, okay? Kidney adrenals, which would explain, you know, the kidney, weak adrenals, the nerve rings, and the weak kidneys with a thick skin ring. See that big, thick ring around the eye? That's a skin ring. That means the skin is not eliminating waste properly due to poor kidneys. The kidneys send the acids to the skin. Skin tries to get rid of it, can't do a good job, so it gets thick here. So you really want to sweat. You want to fix the thyroid as well to release this, because this dark ring will go away once you start detoxing properly. Okay, it's the kidney and adrenals. You need to prep up the adrenals and kidneys. Maybe use use adrenal and kidney tinctures. Right here is the right foot, knee area, also with heavy lymph stagnation and congestion right here. Right here is the groin region, and right here is the pelvis. See that dark line right there? And beside this is the ovaries and the pancreas. Ovaries and the pancreas right here. Okay, heavy lymph stagnation. The pancreas for digestion, ovaries, you know, is in line with the pituitary gland. Weak pituitary gland will give you weak ovaries. And that spot right here, that's the liver and gallbladder. That's the entire region right here. That's the liver and gallbladder. Also very weak, okay, subacute lymph stagnation. And right here is the ribs, breast, and thorax region, okay? Also, you can see heavy lymph stagnation. And you have thick lymph nerve rings going around here. And right here is the middle, upper, lower lung region, okay? Also with heavy lymph stagnation. Here's the ear, and here's the neck region, and beside it is the medulla region. The medulla is responsible for balancing and equilibrium, okay? And this thick line here points to the sexual drive, okay? And closer beside it is alertness, memory, mental strength. So there's weakness here for sure, okay? Which is in line with the pituitary gland, as I mentioned, and it's crucial that you do detox that, okay? Overall, the eyes, the bowels need a lot of work, okay? The bowels are quite constricted. It could be impacted, okay? So you see the ascending colon, how thin it is, and the transverse colon is almost flattish, okay? In line with the pituitary gland, because there's a relationship between the transverse colon and the pituitary gland. The gut basically has to be detoxed, okay? And the descending colon as well is also quite constricted. It's a very tight bowel, so to speak. And there is a slight malabsorption ring around the pupil, so I would focus a lot on the bowels, okay? You open up the bowels, everything else can open up, especially when the kidneys are filtering and the pituitary gland start working properly. Everything should clear up nicely. When you see this cloud-like, that's all lymph, the white thick lymph. And when you see the yellow around it, that's acute lymph stagnation. It could also be sulfur from drug deposits and candida, okay? When you see dark spots like these, dark spots, they tend to be drug deposits. Okay, it could be from the mother, not necessarily the child, but anything the mother took, father took, the child can get it as well. Okay, and I just mentioned there are nerve rings around the eye. Okay, when you see rings like a tree of a trunk, that's nerve rings. Weak adrenals, which I mentioned was right here, right? Weak adrenals and kidneys. And you want to sweat for sure. So I would be sweating, try to sweat as much as I can. I'll be working on the bowels, do some enemas, try and clean the bowels with the GI cleaner, GI broom. You know, use herbs for the bowels. This is going to take you some time, okay, to clear up nicely though. But a further proof of the digestive system, you can see that the yellow line around the bowels, that's the autonomic nerve wreath. That shows weak digestive system. Okay, so you want to fix that, which is in line with the liver and gallbladder, okay, right here, as well as the pancreas. Okay, so good detox is going to do you well, and you should clear up nicely. There's nothing to be worried about. You have good genes, and this should clear up if you put attention to it. It will take time, so I recommend that you do make it like a lifestyle as opposed to just like a cleanse, and you see things will improve.